If you're about to spend $80,000 on a camper van in 2026, this one mistake could cost you $30,000 in the first 2 years alone. The camper van market just flipped. What worked in 2022 will bankrupt you now. Depreciation curves have reversed, financing terms have tightened, and the vans everyone's buying today will be the hardest to sell tomorrow. I'm going to show you exactly what changed, which popular models are now terrible investments, and the one category of van that's quietly holding value while everything else crashes. This isn't about features or Instagram tours. This is about not losing a year's salary on wheels. Section 1. The shift nobody's talking about. Here's what happened. Between 2020 and 2023, used camper vans sold for more than new ones. That's insane, but it was real. A 2019 Ram ProMaster conversion that cost $65,000 new was selling for $78,000 used in 2022. People were desperate. Builders had 2-year wait lists. You could buy anything, drive it for a year, and sell it for profit. That world is gone. Right now, that same 2019 ProMaster conversion, it's listed for $48,000 and it's been sitting for 4 months. The seller is panicking. And here's the part that should terrify you. New inventory is flooding back in. Ram, Ford, Mercedes, they all cranked up production in 2024. Winnebago, Coachman, Pleasureway, they're all shipping again. And conversion shops that were quoting 18-month builds are now saying, we can start next week. Supply is back. Demand is not. This is how people who thought they were buying freedom ended up trapped in a bad sale. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is what everyone's missing. The market didn't just cool, it's split. Some vans are tanking, others are holding strong. And the difference isn't what you think. It's not about the brand, it's not even about the build quality, it's about flexibility. Let me explain. Section 2. The two-tier market. The camper van market has now split into two completely different worlds. Tier 1. The frozen assets. These are your fully built, fixed layout, Instagram-ready vans. The ones with permanent beds, built-in kitchens, hardwood floors, and $25,000 worth of custom cabinetry. A Storyteller mode, a Winnebago Revel, even high-end Sprinter conversions from popular builders. Beautiful vans, terrible investments right now. Why? Because in 2026, buyers want options. The average camper van owner now keeps their van for 3.2 years, not 8. They're not buying forever homes, they're buying experiments. And when they go to sell, the next buyer doesn't want your layout, they want theirs. That custom galley kitchen you spent $8,000 on, the new buyer wants a garage for bikes. That fixed bed platform, they need a mobile office. You just lost negotiating power, and now your van sits for months while cheaper, simpler builds sell in weeks. Tier 2. The liquid assets. These are your lightly converted or modular vans. A Ford Transit with a basic bed platform, a removable kitchen in good bones, a Mercedes Metris with a pop top and open floor space, even a Bear ProMaster with insulation, electrical, and zero permanent furniture. These vans are selling faster and holding value better than the $150,000 luxury builds. Why? Because the next buyer can finish it their way without ripping everything out first. Here's a real example. Two 2021 Sprinter 144s, same mileage, same mechanical condition. One is a $120,000 fully custom build, cedar ceiling, fixed shower, the works. The other is a $68,000 partial build, insulated, wired, basic bed platform, but mostly open. The $120,000 van has been listed for 7 months. It's now down to $89,000 and still no buyers. The $68,000 van sold in 11 days for $64,000. That's a 74% value retention versus a 25% loss. Same van, different outcome. And here's the part that'll make you rethink everything you've been researching. The vans losing value the fastest right now are the exact ones YouTube creators have been promoting the hardest for the past 3 years. Let me show you why. Section 3. The YouTube trap. If you've been watching van tour videos, you've been sold a lie. Not intentionally, most creators genuinely love their vans, but what works for content does not work for resale. Here's the pattern. A creator gets sponsored by a builder or buys a stunning $130,000 storyteller stealth mode. They make 50 videos showing every drawer, every USB port, every clever design detail. It looks perfect. You want it. You buy one. 2 years later, you try to sell, and reality hits. That storyteller mode you bought for $135,000, it's now worth $95,000 if you're lucky. Why? Because 9,000 other people watched the same videos and bought the same van. The market is saturated. There are 40 used storyteller vans listed right now within 500 miles of Denver alone. Buyers have options, and when buyers have options, they lowball. Meanwhile, the guy who bought a bare 2022 Ford Transit all-wheel drive, insulated it himself, and added a Rax-Trax bed platform, he's selling for $52,000 on a van he paid $58,000 for. That's a $6,000 loss versus a $40,000 loss. The YouTube trap is this: you're buying what's popular, not what's smart. And in a flooded market, popular means common, and common means cheap. Section 4. The controversial truth. Alright, here's the take that's going to make some people angry, but it's true. For most buyers, if you're purchasing a camper van as a lifestyle decision in 2026, you should not be buying new and you should not be buying premium. Here's why. Let's say you're a retired couple. You want to travel the country for 3 to 5 years, then settle down. You've been researching Class B RVs, maybe a Winnebago Solis, a Pleasureway Tofino, something turnkey and reliable. Option A, you buy a 2025 Winnebago Solis for $115,000. You finance $90,000 at 7.8% because that's the current RV loan rate. Your payment is $1,340 a month. You drive it for 4 years, same miles. In 2030, it's worth $62,000. You lost $53,000 in depreciation plus $24,000 in interest if you financed. Total cost is $77,000. Option B, you buy a 2021 Solis right now for $72,000. Same layout, same features, just 3 years older. You pay cash or finance $50,000 at 8.2%. Your payment is $740. You drive it the same 4 years, same miles. In 2030, it's worth $48,000. You lost $24,000 in depreciation plus $8,000 in interest if you financed. Total cost is $32,000. That's a $45,000 difference for the exact same experience. Exact numbers vary by region and financing terms, but the pattern is consistent across the market. But I want new. I get it. New feels safe. But here's the thing. Camper vans are not cars. A 2021 with 15,000 miles is mechanically identical to a 2025 with 3,000 miles. The ProMaster chassis didn't change. The engine didn't change. You're paying $40,000 for a warranty you'll probably never use and that new van smell. And insurance companies price these two categories very differently. You'll pay 30 to 40% more to insure a $115,000 van versus a $72,000 van, even if they're the same model. Unless you're planning to live in it full-time for 10 plus years, buying new in this market is leaving serious money on the table. If you're shopping right now, this next part can save you 5 figures. Here's exactly what to look for. So what should you buy in 2026? If you're a buyer right now, here's the smartest move. Target 2020 to 2022 vans with under 30,000 miles, partial builds from private sellers. Why this range? Because many of these builds were done when builders were selective and buyers were demanding perfection. And now those original owners are panic selling because they overpaid and need out. Look for Ford Transit 148-inch or 170-inch wheelbases with all-wheel drive. ProMaster 159-inch wheelbases. Sprinter 144s if you can find one without the DEF emissions issues. Avoid anything with fixed plumbing unless you specifically need a shower. Those systems fail and repairs are $3,000. Look for seller red flags. Must sell, price reduced, open to offers. These are motivated sellers. You have leverage.
And here's a sneaky move. Look for vans listed in expensive markets, California, Colorado, Oregon, and offer to buy sight unseen with a pre-purchase inspection. Sellers in those states are competing with 100 other listings. You're offering a clean, fast exit. They'll negotiate. I've seen buyers save $18,000 using this exact strategy in the last 6 months. Section 6. Who should avoid buying right now? Now let's talk about who should not buy a camper van in 2026. If you're buying because van life looks fun on Instagram, don't. Rent one for a month. Half the people who buy vans sell them in 18 months because they realize they hate cooking in a tiny space and sleeping in Walmart parking lots. If you're buying with the expectation that you'll sell it for what you paid, don't. That market is over. You will lose money. The only question is, how much?
If you're buying a $150,000 luxury rig because you deserve it after retirement, pause. That's an emotional purchase, and emotional purchases in a depreciating asset class are how people lose $60,000 in 3 years and then have to delay retirement to recover. And if you're buying any camper van on a 10-year loan, absolutely do not do that. I've seen 12-year RV loans at 9.5% interest. That's financial suicide. You'll owe more than it's worth before you make the 30th payment. Here's the bottom line. The camper van market in 2026 rewards patience, flexibility, and ruthless financial logic. The buyers winning right now are the ones buying used, buying simple, and buying from desperate sellers. The buyers losing are the ones buying new, buying popular, and buying with emotion. If you're about to spend 6 figures on a van, ask yourself this: am I buying a tool or am I buying a fantasy? Because tools hold value, fantasies don't. The smartest van buyers in 2026 aren't the ones with the most beautiful builds. They're the ones who'll sell in 3 years and walk away with 70% of their money back while everyone else is begging Facebook groups to take their vans for half price. Be smart, be patient, and don't buy what YouTube tells you to buy. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think buying used is smarter right now, or am I wrong and new vans are still worth it? Drop your take in the comments. And if you're actively shopping, tell me what you're looking at. I'll tell you if it's a smart buy or a money pit.